Welcome back, everybody. It's Ask the Expert with Kroon Electrical, and we've got several questions to answer this morning. Deidre is on the telephone line this morning. Deidre,
Hi.
how are you?
Good morning,
I'm good.
Deidre.
How are you?
Very good. What's your question today?
Well, my question is, and maybe other people can identify with this, we're all expected and asked to kind of turn off all our electrical equipment. So, like my DVD player, my receiver.
Right.
But that's all hardwired in behind a massive entertainment center.
Right.
Yes.
So how am I going to be able to accomplish that? And what if I only want to be able to just turn off, a portion of those electronics
right.
to keep my
Components
TV on?
and so on. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's a very good question, because these days everybody, like a lot of people, have a pretty elaborate system. Right?
Yeah.
And it's all tucked in behind something or into the wall or what have you. So is it best to make sure all of your components are turned off with your remotes, or what works?
The best thing to do is actually power them off if you can. And there's a solution for Deidre's question, is to put a power bar there. And sometimes you can put 2 power bars on, and you turn the power bar off itself. If that doesn't work, there's actually remote power on and off switches you could put on the receptacles in the back of your units.
Oh, yeah?
So you could turn them on and off. Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of things you could do to make that happen.
No kidding.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you could do with that.
But
yeah.
you recommend actually turning the entire thing, like powering it off, not the on-off button.
You should. No one does it. I don't do it, but that's the
If you want to save the most power.
Yeah, there's a lot of phantom loads on that, and you should turn.
Well,
it off.
yeah, some of them are drawing electricity even though they're not on per se.
Exactly. Right. But like, let's say you have a PVR where you're recording shows, you can't power that off.
No.
Your show won't record.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful when you power things off. Make sure it's not going to affect you. Yeah.
Good point, though.
Yeah. But on average, if you could power those off all the time, you probably save $34 a year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lynn's on the telephone. Hi, Lynn. How are you?
Hi there, how are you?
Very good. What's your question?
My question is, last summer I moved into a one-bedroom apartment, and I brought along my air conditioner.
Yeah.
I tried using it last summer, and after about 5 minutes, it blew the breaker.
Okay.
And it continually did that. Now it's 6,000 BTU, and I plugged it into different outlets, and it still blew the breaker.
Yeah. Yeah, but most likely what's happening, Lynn, in your apartment is that there's not enough. There's too many things on one breaker. There's too many circuits on one breaker. So what you need to do is you need to put a separate breaker for your air conditioning unit, and that's something that could be done relatively easily.
How does she do that when she's in an apartment situation?
If I don't know if the owner will do it for her. I don't know if it's a duplex or whatever.
Right.
There's different scenarios, but it's something that could be done relatively easily.
Okay. Yeah. So she should have a separate breaker for that air
for the air conditioning unit.
So she can keep cool all summer.
Exactly.
Or spring, as it were.
Yeah, and if that brings up a good point, though. If your breakers are tripping, they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you don't want to bypass that or fiddle around with it so they don't trip.
Okay.
Because if you turn them on and off enough times, sometimes they'll stick to the on position, and then they're not functioning the way it's supposed to.
Okay.
Okay.
Good point.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Sheila's on the telephone. Sheila, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Very good. What's your question?
We live in a house that's about 100 years old.
Oh, wow.
And we're thinking of selling it. And we have fuses in our panel box.
Right.
And we're thinking, for sale purposes, should we switch to breakers or just leave it?
That's a great question. I don't recommend anyone change their fuse panel box if it's functioning correctly. However, you should probably have someone come out and take a look and assess to see the situation of your electrical system, make sure it's functioning correctly. The more important thing than the panel boxes are the fuses correct, the right size of fuses are in place. A lot of times the fuse sizes are, people play around with that, change the fuses and so on, so there's a problem with that.
So then you never know what fuse is supposed to go in there. Yeah.
But I wouldn't change it. I would just make sure it's inspected and it's working properly.
Well, and Sheila has the perfect storm for getting people like you to come in and look, because here she is thinking about selling her home, wants to make sure everything's on the up and up.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And to have that assessment done first of all will give her an indication if she needs a total inspection or...
Exactly. So, to answer your question, normally we don't recommend changing the fuse panel. However, in certain circumstances, it is required.
It might be the best option.
Exactly.
What about, this is the time of year we're seeing lots of houses for sale. I know a few people who are moving and doing that sort of thing. If you're buying a new home, is it good to have an electrical inspection done or an assessment?
Well, you should definitely get the full home inspection.
And that includes some electrical, right?
They do a cursory overview. And at that point, you should really ask him, go, you know, is my plumbing system okay and all that. If he's not 100% sure, and if you feel there's a problem with your electrical system, you should have a further inspection, because most home inspectors do not know all the things they need to know about everything.
No, they're general home inspectors.
Exactly.
Right. They can tell you if there are in fact some problems that are there, but
exactly.
if you want to know for sure when it comes to your electrical, you better get...
Because the things we do is we're able to look behind the walls and see behind the walls if the wires are correct, if there's problems behind the walls, and nobody else can do that. Really.
No.
And that's why our service is so unique.
Yeah, and you did it at my place, and it's not, there's no invasion of privacy or anything like that.
No.
I mean, considering what you did, it took a few hours, but man, oh man, that could have been an all-day job, but you have the equipment to look behind the walls.
Exactly. We've got tons of equipment. I think we showed it last time we were on all the equipment we used.
I mean, they went around to, and this is what you do, you go around to every single outlet to make sure it's functioning properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we start outside looking at the meter, the wires coming to your home, we look at the panel, we do the maintenance on the panel, and then we look at every outlet, every plug, every switch, you know, everything in your home, every light fixture, make sure it's functioning properly.
Right.
And all the wires are good to them.
Right. It's like an electrical x-ray.
Yeah, like an MRI for your house.
Yeah, an MRI.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good. So,
Michael, thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you very much for
we've got our, by the way, our 3 participants. They called quickly.
Excellent.
So we're going to set this up and get these monitors into their homes.
Okay.
And then in a future segment, we'll get some results and find out what happened.
Yeah, hopefully we get some good results from people.
Good stuff.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Michael Kroon from Kroon Electrical. Here's how you get in touch with them. If you want one of these monitors, by the way, they'll put one in your home for you. Just give them a call and set something up. Don't forget the spring special that's on right now for an assessment. 20% off the first 20 people who called today. There's the information for Kroon Electrical. 9:40, 20 before 10. We'll be back with more of CTV Morning Live right after this.